go this weekend instead of me. Just lie to the monks and tell them you're me. And so I did. I just kind of took him up on it, and I said, "My name is John Smith," and the monk believed me. You know, you never know if it's going to be funny until you try it. So,
lying to a monk, man. I don't know if I can do that.
Well, those guys he was actually really grumpy. It wasn't hard to lie to him. He's kind of a grumpy. They have no people skills.
Of course they don't.
So anyway, it was a frustrating time because I fasted for 3 days and I brought my Bible and my journal and my guitar, and I just was determined that I could prove to God that I was worthy of deserving the answer that I was demanding, which is just not a good place to be. And so the very last day that I was there, I went on a walk down these long winding trails and following these signs, and all the signs said were "to the statues," and I didn't know what that meant, and I kind of wound my way in frustration on my last morning. I was really hungry, which made me even crankier, and no wonder monks are grumpy. No women, no food. The decorating is terrible in there. So anyway, I ended up kind of rounding a corner after about a mile and saw this statue of James and Peter and John asleep. And I went, oh, I get it. This is the Abbey of Gethsemane. So this is like the Garden of Gethsemane, and I'm going to kind of wind on up the hill, and I'm going to see a statue of Jesus praying in the garden on the night that he was taken. And instead of the kind of pious, Jesus, it stopped me in my tracks when I walked into this little clearing. And the sculptor had depicted Jesus as if he had just fallen to his knees. And his back was arched, and his hands are covering his face, and his elbows are kind of splayed out like wings. Like he just looks like he's in agony. And he, in the moment, I had this thought that he looked the way my heart felt. My God, why have you left me alone? Why won't you give me an answer that I want? And so, anyway, the weird thing that happened to me on the walk back to the monastery was that I realized that I had been comforted, that my pain had not been taken away, but that I was comforted in the fact that the God that I love and worship is familiar with my sorrow. And that's something that no other religion can claim. They can't claim that their God is familiar with loneliness, fear, pain. It's beautiful. So, I wrote this song. It's enough to drive a man crazy. It'll break a man's faith. It's enough to make him wonder if he's ever been sane. When he's bleeding for comfort from thy staff and thy rod, and the heavens' only answer is the silence of God. And it'll shake a man's timbers when he loses his heart, when he has to remember what broke him apart. And this yoke may be easy, but this burden is not, when the crying fields are frozen by the silence of God. And if a man has got to listen to the voices of the mob, who are reeling in the throes of all the happiness they've got, when they tell you all their troubles have been nailed up to that cross, well then what about the times when even followers get lost? 'Cause we all get lost sometimes. Well, there's a statue of Jesus on a monastery knoll in the hills of Kentucky, all quiet and cold, and he's kneeling in the garden, as silent as a stone, and all his friends are sleeping, and he's weeping all alone. And the man of all sorrows, he never forgot what sorrow is carried by the hearts that he bought. So when the questions dissolve into the silence of God, the aching may remain, but the breaking does not. The aching may remain, but the breaking does not. In the holy lonesome echo of the silence of God.